Hi guys! So this is probably the fourth time that I've tried to film this. For some reason my computer is not uploading my footage.
So awesome!
And also I am filming this right in front of my door, so I don't want all my neighbors to hear this, so I have my little headphone mic in. So hopefully you can hear me okay along with everything else that's happening outside. Which is nice, the birds are chirping, so I always welcome that. But as you can tell by the title, this video is about my Interac interview experience. I have some clips that I'm going to insert here in a second, but I wanted to kind of give you like a pre-view of what's going on and then a little bit of a review once I'm done, because I didn't film that much while I was there just because I really wanted to stay focused on the task at hand.
Squirrel.
And also, I was nervous. I'm just gonna be honest. I was really nervous about going in there, and basically, and I'll explain in a second, but I just felt like I was pressed for time. Like I did not have a lot of time to prepare, unlike with the JET program where it's like I had like 4 weeks of prep and stuff to write. But anyway, so let's dive into that. How it all came to fruition. I had literally just written my name and address into the Interac website, and because a lot of you guys had suggested that I apply for them, and I was like, that's a good idea, I'm gonna do that. But when I did that, I didn't have enough time to complete the entire application because you had to do a cover letter, which was not as involved as a statement of purpose for the JET program, but it was like a 2,000 character limit. Anyway, it was longer than short, let's say that. And then there's a lot of information that you had to fill out, like your work history and your education history and all that stuff, the typical thing. I just didn't have enough time at that moment. However, the very next morning I get a phone call and it's like, hi, we just wanted to let you know that interviews are coming up soon and we didn't want you to miss your opportunity to get into this, so give us a call back and let us know if you're actually interested in applying for the position. And I was like, oh yeah, of course, you know. So I called them back and I talked to the girl and she was very nice. She's like, yeah, we're having interviews this Saturday. Mind you, it's Tuesday. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's really soon. I work Thursday, Friday, and Saturday full shifts, but I'm sure I can work something out. Like, can I go to an early appointment or something? And she's like, no, it's an all-day thing. And I was like, okay, interesting. I'm thinking that you just show up and they ask you a couple questions and then you leave, but no. So I'll get into what happens in a second. So then she's like, well, based on what you told me just now, I would like to have a phone interview with you. Can we set that up? And I was like, yeah, we can do it tomorrow. Sure. So tomorrow, Wednesday comes, she calls me and we have a phone interview. I feel like it was one of the worst phone interviews I've ever had. I felt like I could not put sentences together. I felt like it was all over the place and that nothing was coming out in comprehensive sentences. It was like, so then at the end of it, I'm expecting her to say, okay, well, we'll think about you or whatever. But she's like, okay, well, based on our conversation again that we just had, I'd like to invite you to the interview on Saturday. And I was like, okay. So now in my head, I'm thinking, this is way too easy. And I guess I've just been kind of traumatized from the whole JET experience, because when I found out about the JET thing, I did not know that Los Angeles is one of the hardest places to get into the JET program and that people with master's degrees were being turned down. So I was like, oh my gosh, everybody hates me. So, you know, little like residual lingering whatever. So with this, I'm like, this is way too easy. I'm having red flags go off saying no, no, no. But I've watched a lot of people on YouTube who are already members of Interac or have, like, it's a legit company and people have gotten into Japan doing that, and people do teach with them. You guys probably already know Dave Trippin, and he has a lot of videos about it. He doesn't always have the best things to say about it, but you know, it's a good opportunity, at least for the first year. So then she sends me all of this information, like this huge email of requirements, things I need to fill out, documents that I need to provide, and a lot of it's very similar to the JET program. However, they want you to rewrite a resume that is very specific and tailored to what they're looking for in terms of proof of education and activities. There's a lot of things that they want you to include, and it says no less than 2 pages. And I was like, 2 pages? In America, you don't want to have any more than 1 page, otherwise you look unprofessional. So it's kind of weird, those little differences. And then, because I'm American, I had to do my own background check, plus sign a document that said that they could do a background check on me, which I thought was really strange as well. And then there was pre-interview questions that I had to answer and send over. And then the big, like, creme de la creme, like, moment was a demo lesson. And I was like, what? A demo lesson? Why? And normally, like I would think because of my performance experience and auditioning experience and stuff, like this stuff wouldn't get me freaked out and I wouldn't be riled up and I wouldn't get nervous of it, but I do. Like, I cannot help but get nervous for any type of like audition or opening night, things like that. I'm like Chihuahua Central. I'm like, nerves, and like my stomach gets all disgusting. So it's cool stuff. But so I'm looking at this, I'm like, when am I going to make this? When am I going to prepare this? When am I going to have ample time to like really go over this and feel super comfortable with the material that I'm presenting? Because you have 4 tasks and you had to actually like task them off, and I'll get into that in a second. I also had to work, so I was like, oh my gosh, so I'm working. When am I going to have time to do all this stuff? Plus, on top of it, to make matters just a little tiny bit more stressful, my boyfriend ended up getting this slew of jobs like back to back to back. Was he just on the counter? Cat, he's so naughty. Thinks no one's watching him. I'm gonna have to rewatch that and see if he was up there. What a naughty kitty. Anyway, so I felt like I did not have enough time, ample time to prepare. And basically you had to prepare a warm-up demo and an actual like teaching demo, which they do give you. You basically just copy these videos that they made, but I'm one of those people who like to be really prepared and have like a really good idea about what I'm doing without anything in the way of doing that, which obviously life happens, so whatever. So yeah, I put together this thing and I practiced it as much as I could. You'll see in one of these clips that I put in that I'm up super late and I have to get up super early the next morning. And so that was just kind of my stresses. I'll show you that and then I'll go over a breakdown of what actually happens in the Interac interview.
Hi guys, so I think I will already have done this by the time, no, that's for sure. I will already have had my interview by the time this all comes out, but I have an interview for Interac tomorrow and I'm flipping the F out because I just got done with work and it's now 9:45. It is in Long Beach, which is, I don't know, on a good day, it's like 40 minutes away. And the interview is at 9 a.m. and they want you to show up early. And of course, like I want to be super early so that I'm on time and so that I'm also kind of like calming my nerves and everything. So I'm having some chocolate and I've just watched a bunch of videos on doing like the demo, which I didn't know you'd have to do a demo. Oh my gosh, I feel like really unprepared. Okay, thanks. I'm really excited, which I am very excited. But then I see the demo and I was like, what do you mean a demo? Okay, I just stand up there and be like, hi class, blah, 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 awesome, bye. No, they have demo things that you were supposed to follow along like pretty specifically, which is fine. I just feel like super rushed as I'm sitting here talking to you guys when I could be practicing, but I just ate and felt like I needed to take a 5-minute break. So yeah, basically I have to go do that. And I watched a bunch on the internet and it seems like it should be easy. There is a part where it's like they want you to speak Japanese and I feel like all I really know that would be pertinent would be like, Hajime mashite, watashi wa Elizabeth, and then say something and then be like, yoroshiku onegaishimasu, or mashita. I don't even know. I'm not that far in life. I don't know why I'm freaking out so much. I'm just like freaking out. And that's, I think the other thing is that I really want it, but at the same time, because it came so quickly, like with the JET program, you have a lot of time to wait and see if it's gonna happen and then prepare yourself. It's like a slow mental preparation. This, it kind of seemed like super quick and almost too easy. Like I'm knocking on wood, because maybe it's not. I'm not gonna get it based on my interview and stuff, but yeah, so that's me kind of getting it out, letting you guys know what's up. Yes, and so I've actually reached out to a couple of you and thank you so much for your thoughts and for your answers to all of the questions, like the stressed out questions I had. The boyfriend and I are really, we have to decide. We have to make a really serious grown-up life decision and we want it to be the best decision that we can make for our futures, and it's scary just taking that huge leap. I'm a lot better at just like leaping and he's a lot more practical, which is good. I think it's a good balance because it would stink if I'm having us leap off a cliff or something type of metaphor. I really want to make sure that we're making the right decision. I really do truly want to move to Japan because I find it to be a fascinating country. I find the culture to be amazing and I feel like there are a lot of untapped experiences and amazing things for our lives there. But from my boyfriend's point of view and from my perspective as well, we want to make sure that we'll be able to support ourselves and we want to make sure my boyfriend can actually get into the country, and so there's a lot of things riding on it. So those are my struggles and they're just my frustrations in life, and that's all. And I thought I would share them with you, and if you guys have any advice or if you guys have any groundbreaking information that will totally make it so much easier for us to make a decision, that would be great. Or just, it's so nice to read your guys' comments, so I always appreciate that too. So yeah, so I'm gonna get back to work here because I have to get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and it's 10 o'clock. I'm already sporting panda eyes. Okay. Hey guys, so I am done with my day. I just got done from work where I had just come straight from my Interac interview. I'm tired. I feel very like stressed, partly because it was stressful. I got all the information quite last minute, and so I had to prepare while working and trying to get everything together, and then show up at this place. So like last night I was up till probably 2 a.m. trying to just finalize everything, and then I got up at about 6 a.m. this morning because it was down in Long Beach and I wanted to make sure that I was there on time. And I got there on time and everything went pretty good. The gal who was our recruiter was super nice and she was really helpful. I felt like I was having trouble expressing myself correctly, and I think it was just stress and the whole fact that like this is becoming so real. And that realization is really hitting me quite hard. So trying to voice myself articulately was very difficult, as I'm having trouble doing it right now too. But on that note, I reached out to a few of you guys, and some of you guys actually reached out to me too with different job ideas and things like that and links and all that stuff. And I just wanted to tell you that I really truly appreciate it. I know that we don't know each other technically because it's just over YouTube. Most of you guys I've never met before, but the fact that you guys are willing to take the time out of your day and just kind of like emotionally and mentally support me, I really, really appreciate that. I can't tell you enough how much that means to me. And those of you who I reached out to and you guys gave me such wonderful and thoughtful answers to all the questions that I had, I thank you so much. It's amazing, and I'm so, I guess I keep saying that, but I'm so thankful. So thank you. It's amazing. Yeah, so I think now I'm just gonna shower and go to bed because I have to work in the morning. But I will definitely keep you guys posted on how this goes, see if I got it or not, and then what to do about that. All right, so thank you guys so much. I'm losing steam here, so I'll check back in with you in a little while. Okay, good night.
Okay, welcome back. So when you go to the interview, from my experience, is that it was a full day, a full 8-hour plus day. So for me, I got up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I had to go all the way down to Long Beach. Because it was Saturday, it wasn't such a big deal, so it only took me like 40 minutes or so to get down there. It was kind of in like a janky little hotel. Like I didn't even know it was a hotel. It looked like maybe like a hostel or something like that. I drove by it twice because I couldn't find it. And then it was downtown, so you know downtown can get a little sketchy. It was like a really cool downtown, but sketchy at the same time. So I was there from about like 8:30 in the morning until about 4:30 in the afternoon. And you do get breaks throughout the day, and there was a small lunch break as well. They don't provide you with food, and they don't really provide you with snacks or anything. The hotel had snacks, so I ate a banana there. But the basic breakdown of the day is that you go in there, you do like your little icebreaker type thing where you meet the other people who are also applying for the job. There were about 9 people there, and it seems like most groups are like anywhere between 8 to 12 people, and they try to keep it kind of small like that. And everyone was so much younger than me. It was so embarrassing on my end because everyone else was either just graduated from college or still in college about to graduate, and I was like, oh my gosh, I am a grandma. That is really weird. Okay. So obviously our needs for this program were different. Like a lot of these people were just gonna go over for a year or two and just experience life. Like for us though, it's actually a life-changing situation. So I think that that's why my nerves were also even more on edge, because I'm like, oh, this is a big deal. And so then after that, we went through this super comprehensive PowerPoint that she had set up on a computer, and it went over everything like what to expect from the rest of the process, all the documents and stuff that you need to have turned in, then like what happens once you get hired, how long you have to wait, all the stuff about placement and how you will be paying your rent and finances and how you get paid and all this other stuff, and then what the onboarding experience is like. It was quite comprehensive, so that was probably like an hour and a half, I would say. So by the time that was all finished, and that was like 11:30-ish, then we had a grammar test, a grammar and spelling test actually. And I think I missed like 2 words on the spelling test, and I was like, ugh. So I feel like, oh my God, right now there are people across the way that smoke pot, and they do this every day, and then they start coughing up really juicy coughs. And I don't think they realize how loud they are, but they always have their door open, and they're the loudest people in this area. Listen to me bitch about that. Anyway, so I feel like autocorrect has forever tarnished my spelling ability because I rely on it so much that some of the words that are so obvious and easy, I no longer know how to spell the word the. Like I can't, I'm just kidding. That's a bad that's a bad example. But one of the words, I looked at it and I was like, that's spelled incorrectly, so I'm going to spell it correct. So I'm going to spell it correctly. So I spelt it correctly. And then I looked at it again and I was like, no, it was spelled correctly originally. So that's why I got that one wrong, because I second guessed myself. And then there was a French word that they had on there that's been adopted into the English language. And I was like, no, that word's spelled wrong. So, but it was actually correct. So I know for sure I got those two wrong. But I think on the rest of the grammar and sentence structure things, I think I got those correct. My dad really drilled that stuff into me when I was younger. You need to know proper English, you need to speak correctly and write correctly. So I have a pretty good grasp on grammar, I think. We'll see. And then after that, we had a short lunch break, and I didn't eat because the place we went took too long to make my food, which was good though, because after that we had our demos, and I think eating before that maybe would have been a tumultuous experience. So for the demos, it's 6 minutes, and like I said, you have 4 tasks that you have to task off, and the order that you went in your demo was the order that you went in your interview. So I requested to be number 3. Like I couldn't go number 1. I couldn't be number 1, but I needed to go to work, so I tried to be pretty soon within the lineup. Basically, for your demo, you have to say your name, the location, and the date, and then task 1 is an introduction. And here they're like, we really encourage you to utilize your Japanese. And I was like, awesome, I can say 1 word. And I'm watching all these other people, they're like, hajimemashite. They just like rattled off a bunch of Japanese like they were fluent. Some people didn't sound very good, but they still knew words. I literally said, hajimemashite, Elizabeth desu. Okay, my name's Elizabeth. And I felt really stupid, but that's fine because they're not requiring you to speak Japanese. Also, the girl, our recruiter, who was super nice and really chill, which I appreciated, she said that if you practice a bunch of Japanese that you don't actually know, they might place you in a location where they require you to speak more Japanese. And if you don't actually speak Japanese, you're gonna be SOL on that front. So don't fake it to make it in that situation, unless you feel confident that within the next 6 months you can learn an incredible amount of Japanese. And then your second task is reading a statement on a piece of paper. And I sort of like stumbled a little bit at one point, but I didn't actually mess up. So I'm hoping that's not an issue. I don't know. And then the third task is a warm up. So I just did like body parts, like this is this, now touch your this, that, or whatever. And then your task 4 was your presentation. And so mine was directions. And so I actually have what I ended up coming up with. It's directions, and then you had to do the vocab. I totally was about to forget to do the vocab, and then I remembered. So I'm like, let's learn about directions here. Let's start with going to the bank. And then I was like, but first, let's learn our vocab for it. And I was like, oh geez, okay. So I was really nervous, and you only have 6 minutes, and I was the only person who got down counting like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, like she's counting down. And I was like, okay, thank you very much. So that's weird because I felt like, and your concept of time during this is always off, but I felt like everyone else had super long introductions. They talked about themselves for a really long time. I said I like cats and the color purple, both the play and the color. And then I felt like my warm-up was super short as well, and everybody else's was long. They had full songs that they went through. Someone went through the whole head, shoulders, knees, and toes song. Everything is relative, I suppose. And so that's basically what happens. And then because my notification for the interview was so short notice, I didn't have all of my documents at that time. I'm still waiting on my transcript, and unfortunately they don't do an e-transcript, so you have to actually order it unless you live near your college. Then you can go pick it up, but I don't. And so I'm waiting on that, and then I have to send in a colored copy of my passport, and thankfully my parents were able to find my diploma, because I was like, did I throw that away? I don't even know where that is. And my dad's like, I've kept it up in this bookshelf. I was wondering if the last time you were here you would see it. And I was like, no. Not at all. Yeah, so once you have all of your documents sent to them, they send it to Japan. That's when Japan makes a final decision on you. They also check your references. So one of my references is still filling out, I guess they send like 18 questions that are kind of detailed. So they're still filling that out. And then after that, it takes anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks for you to find out whether or not you've been accepted. So the thing with the acceptance is that you only have 5 days to say yes or no. So for some people, like if you're in college or whatever, or this isn't that big of a deal, then it's not that big of a deal to say yes in 5 days. For us, we have both of our lives to think about. It's not just me as a single college student going, and it's also something that we'd like to be a little more permanent. So again, it's not just like, oh, I'll go for a year or two, get some experience, and then come back. So there's that as well. And then after you say yes or no, you still don't know your placement. You don't find your placement out for like another 2 to 3 months. And I think that's really difficult because for people like us, the location actually matters, and it's difficult because we need to be in a place where my boyfriend has either access to the industry there or access to an airport to get home to the industry here. So that's a little bit of a struggle for us, but we'll see what happens. If you guys know of any industry related jobs, he is a DP / cameraman, and so that's pretty much what he would be looking to do. So yeah, if you have any connections or if you know of anything, please let me know. And for all of you guys who have sent things over, links over, sent over things for school for me, sent over things for him, thank you so much. We've definitely looked into everything so far that's been sent over. Not everything has worked out, so that's why you haven't heard anything about it, but thank you. That is incredible. And I know I said this in one of the clips already to you guys who have like helped out in every other single way with just support and well wishes, and you know, the people I've reached out to with questions. Again, from the bottom of my tippiest toes, thank you so very much. It truly means a lot. And then for all of you guys who might be new to my channel, I hope you found this useful in terms of if you're also applying to Interac, and also if you applied to JET and you got turned down, don't feel bad. It's probably not you. Unless it is you, then you've got some self-work to do, but most likely it's just because it's so freaking competitive and there are other options out there for you. And if you are new, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up because yeah, I loved it so much. And thank you again guys so much. I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.